Well, hello. Back a while ago, somebody asked me about making a video about leaders that I use. Not leaders, but knots I use on my leaders and how I use them and where I use them. Well, we'll start off by talking about the one knot that I constantly use down where I tie onto my fly. I use the trilene knot. The diagram that I'll put up real quick will show you exactly how it's done. It's twice through the eye of the hook, round about 4 or 5 times, and then back through that loop, and then spit on it, pull it tight. And that's what I use to tie onto my hook or fly part. The rest of the section of the leader, stepping up on all my tippet in the lower section, I use the figure 8 knot. In the figure 8 knot, you just take the rope and you go around behind, come back through, and here you have the figure 8 right there. Now to attach onto the figure 8, you take your rope of said same or different material, and then you just kind of trace it back around, going through all the same loops that you have already put down to where you end up doubled like this. Spin on it, pull it tight. There's another diagram exactly showing you the same thing I have tied right here. Is what I use to tie in between all of my sections of tippet, which is the figure 8 knot. Now when we get closer to up to where the tippet section of my leader meets my main line, I use the double surgeon's knot, and I don't have a diagram of that one yet or have one drawn up, but you take 2 strings and lay them on top of one another like so. You take this one, you make a nice little loop on this one side, and you just pull it through there around both of those 3 to 4 times, making sure you're going around both of them, the white one and the black one, to where you have that kind of knot there. And then you pull that tight, and then you do the same thing on this other side, the white one over here, as you go around one complete loop. Pinch it. Oh, we're messing up already. Pinch it, and then just keep doing the same thing, going back through this side 3 or 4 times. One more for fun. Probably going to be difficult to untie this. And then you cinch it down. It's being unruly up for me here. And when you pull on these, they should meet together in the middle, kind of. Apparently I got that black rope pretty well wrapped up in there. And they should meet up in the middle and make a double surgeon's knot. And that's the kind of a bad presentation showing you on this rope. But that's how I tie where my braided line meets my monofilament or fluorocarbon or whatever, because it's a really good knot to go from 2 different kinds of rope, not necessarily 2 different diameters. Like the figure 8's good for 2 different diameters of rope. The double surgeon's knot's good for 2 different kinds of rope or 2 different kinds of material to tie together. And that's about all the knots I really use all the time, are just those 2. And then the improved clinch, which is pretty much the same thing as the trilene knot, except for it's once through the eye of the hook, round about 4 or 5 times, back through that once you went through the eye of the hook, and then through that part. So it's like a, but that's all. It's all the knots I use really, and they all seem to work out pretty fine. There's a lot of other knots I know how to tie and use on a constant basis. It's just that a majority of them are not used for fishing. So thank you guys for watching, liking, and subscribing. Hopefully this fulfilled whoever it was that asked me the question about what knots and where I use them at and how I tie them. So see you guys on the next one.